E3 space. Okay, curve alpha is a function from open interval I to E3 space. Correct. So how we are going to define this? We have alpha of t is equal to alpha 1t, alpha 2t, alpha 3t. Okay. So t belongs to the open interval I. Correct. So how we are going to imagine this curve? Suppose this is your open interval I and this is our E3 space, right? So here if I suppose I have some initial point E, so at initial point I have this one. So at some point T1, so I will have some image say alpha. So if I am going to connect all those points, I will get a curve alpha of T, correct? So let us go with one example. Suppose one of the student is provided that he has some time interval or say t equal to some 5 minutes is given to go from hostel to school. Okay. So suppose at t equal to 0 he will be at a position hostel. So after time t equal to 1 it will be at somewhere the position here, and after some time t it will the person will reach to a destination. And if we are going to connect all those points from where that person is moving, that corresponding to the curve that we are obtaining is called alpha of t. And in this way, suppose here is some point t, the image of this point will be say alpha of t, right? So suppose I am at this point, so this will be a first point, and in this way we can have a collection of all those points. So simply we can imagine the curve alpha of t as a path of a moving point object. Now what is an object here? In this case a person. Okay, the path followed by that person from hostel to school, that path we will name it as a alpha of t. Okay, so what is the time interval? This will be in the open interval I. For every point here t, we will get image alpha of t. So in this way we will get a curve alpha of t. Okay. Now let us have some particular curves. In the last lecture we have discussed what is equation of a straight line. So suppose we have 2 points, say P1, we can write in general alpha of t is equal to P plus TQ. Or we can have P1 plus TQ1, P2 plus TQ2 plus P3 plus PQ3. Okay, so this is what an equation of a straight line. In general, we can have alpha of t is equal to P plus TQ. In general, we can have alpha of t is equal to P plus TQ, where P and Q are the points in E3 space, where P with the coordinate P1, P2, P3 and Q with the coordinates say Q1, Q2 and Q3. So in general now we can have alpha of t in terms of alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. What is alpha 1? P1 plus TQ1. P2, alpha 2 is P2 plus TQ2. Alpha 3 is P3 plus TQ3. Okay. So this is what an equation of a straight line, P plus TQ. Right. We are having 2 points, say P and Q. So if I want to join these 2 points, I can join this point with the help of a straight line. And somewhere, if suppose I am having any point in between this, I can name it as P plus TQ, where T is a parameter, that means it will vary in between the 2 points P and Q. Okay. So this is what an equation of a straight line in 3D space. Now let us go for one example. Alpha of t is equals to A cos t, A sin t, and the third one I will keep as it is. After one we will see. If you see only first 2 coordinate that initially we have discussed, it is nothing but an equation of a circle. A cos t, A sin t. If I am going to add x square plus y square, it will give you a square. That is what a we were discussing about alpha of t is equals to A cos cos t, a sin t, and b of t. Okay, b. Now, if suppose we are not much more worried about the third term bt. If suppose we have only one a cos t, a sin t. Okay, if you are having a cos t, a sin t, you can say directly this will be an equation of a circle. Okay. Now, what is this b into t from the condition b is greater than 0? Okay. So, at that time, let us go with first two coordinates. What is this equation of a circle in xy plane? This is x, y, and z. Right. So, this is what a circle in xy plane with say radius is a. Correct. Now, what is the third coordinate is b into t, where b is greater than 0. Where b is strictly greater than 0. Why we are putting a condition b is strictly greater than 0? If suppose b is equal to 0, it means that this whole will be reduced to only a circle. Correct. Now, b into t, that is a z coordinate is nothing but b into t. Suppose we have assumed b greater than 0 to be 2t. Correct. Right. So, what will be this? It will be just like a circles putting on one another, and finally will get the image like this. So, this will be nothing but z coordinate, which is nothing but b into t, and this is what in the xy plane we have a circle. So, if we are going to put a circle on one another, that means if we put a circle, suppose first circle is here, and then second one is here, and third, and so on. If we are going to put a circle on one another, then finally we'll get the image like this. So, this will be an equation of a helix. Okay, what is the name for this curve is helix, and this is a curve in a A3 space, where t is a parameter which is given in from open interval I. So, this is what an helix. I will share you the animation of this helix, how it is going to how it is generated. That means from starting point, if we are having a circle in xy plane as bt, that means as the z coordinate is going to increase, it will be increasing, and finally it will reach to some position and we will get the image like this. Okay. So, this is what an equation of a helix. So, what is helix? You don't need to remember much more, because already we know the first two coordinates are nothing but the coordinates of our equation of a circle. Now, the third one is nothing but b into t, where b is strictly greater than 0. It means that the complete creation of a helix is depending on your z coordinate. That means if you are having a circle in xy plane, if you put a circle on one on another, then after some height h, you will get one helix. Now, this helix is somewhat very similar to our cylinder. Okay, cylinder is also like this now. Okay, so let us have the next one. Let us have an example. See, alpha of t is equals to 1 plus cos t sin t and 2 sin t by t. Correct? Now, if you see whether this will be an equation of a helix or not. So, let us go with the first one. X is nothing but 1 plus cos t, y is sin t. So, can I write this equation as x minus 1 is equals to cos t? Correct? So, what will be the equation? X minus 1 bracket square plus y square, that will be cos square plus sin square, which is equal to 1. Okay. So, if you see first two coordinate, it will be an equation of a circle with center at 1 and radius is 1. Center at 1, 0 and radius is 1. Okay, if you see only first two coordinate. Now, if I am imagining the third one, 2 sin t by 2. Okay, so what should be the image of this? How you are going to draw this? So, before drawing, let us see what will be x square plus y square plus z square. Correct? So if I want to write this, 1 plus cos t square plus sin square t plus 4 sin square t by 2. So what will be this? 1 plus cos square t plus 2 cos t plus sin square t plus 4 sin square t by 2. So what will be this? Cos square plus sin square is 1. So this one will get, it is 2 plus 2 cos t plus 4 sin square t by 2. So finally what I get? 2 1 plus cos t in one bracket, and here is 4 sin square t by 2. So we get 1 plus cos t is nothing but 2 cos square t by 2. Correct? So we will write this. This is nothing but 4 cos square t by 2 plus 4 sin square t by 2. So finally we will get the resultant is 1, because cos square t plus cos square t by 2 plus sin square t by 2 will be 1. You don't need to worry about this t by 2, because it will be some angle. Cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1. So finally what I get? X square plus y square plus z square. So what is this equation? This is nothing but an equation of a sphere. X square plus y square plus z square. This is an equation of a sphere with center at 0, 0, 0 and the radius is 2. Correct? So what we have seen initially, we have, if you are having only 2 coordinates, so what will be this? This will be an equation of a circle at center at 1, 0 and radius is 1. And if you are having these 3, then it will be an equation of a sphere with center at 0, 0, 0 and radius is 2. So how you are going to draw this image? Okay. How you are going to draw this? So what you can imagine, if suppose we have only first 2 coordinates, so this will be an equation of a circle with center at 1, 0 and radius 1, and if you are having the third one, if you add the third one, that means this 2 sin t by 2, this is just like a bt. Okay, so if you imagine, this will be just like an helix. Okay, the z variable is continuously increasing. If it is increasing and this combination of this, that means our equation alpha of t is nothing but, you can imagine this intersection of a helix and sphere. So what we have initially, let us draw the small part. Okay, so this will be an intersection of a helix and sphere. This is a small part of a sphere, and here somewhere here you will have the intersection of a helix and the sphere. Okay, so this whatever the curve alpha of t we are having, this will be intersection of a sphere and helix. Okay, so let us go for the next concept, that is velocity. How you are going to define the velocity? Velocity is nothing but rate of change. Na? So what to define how you are define a velocity? Suppose you have a curve alpha of t. Just now we have defined alpha of t is nothing but, say, alpha 1t, alpha 2t, alpha 3. Correct? Somewhere in the physics you have studied how you are going to define velocity is nothing but rate of change of a displacement. So here it is ds by dt, and how you are going to define speed is nothing but rate of change of distance. Okay, so we will concentrate on a velocity. What is nothing? It is nothing but rate of change of a displacement. Okay, that means here it is nothing but our curve alpha of t. How we are going to have a derivative? This will be alpha dash of t if I want to write down, or you can have d alpha by dt. That is, if I am differentiating this with respect to time t. So this will be alpha 1 dash t, alpha 2 dash t, alpha 3 dash of t. And we can have, this will be d alpha 1 by dt, d d alpha 2 by dt, d alpha 3 by dt. Differentiating the curve alpha of t means what? We are to differentiate each and every coordinate. Okay. So hence this is nothing but the velocity of the curve. Now you have to tell me the difference between velocity and the speed of the curve. Now let us go for the next one. Before going to next one, let us have what is alpha of t. We have suppose this is whatever open interval I. At every time t, I can have an image, and the combination of all those images will give you a curve alpha of t. And we have studied, we have gone with the example that we have, suppose a person is provided a time interval of 5 minutes and he has to travel from school to hostel or hostel to school. So path followed by that person will be nothing but a curve alpha of t. Okay. So what is alpha of t? It is nothing but the path followed by an object. So we can picture this as a path of a moving point object. Okay. So this will be a path of a moving point object. So what will be a velocity of the curve? Okay. So you have to tell me in the next lecture that what is the velocity of the curve if you are having alpha of t is nothing but a path of a moving point object. Okay. So let us go for the reparameterization of the curve. Okay, we have studied what is a parameterization of a curve. Parameterization means what? Writing the equation, given equation in terms of parameter is nothing but a parameterization. We have an example of a circle in which we have written the equation of a circle in terms of parameter, rather with the help of different way. That means if we are having x is t, then corresponding will get some value of y. In the very similar way, if we are having x equal to some 2t, then corresponding there will be a change in y. So combination of all this will give you that a parameterization is not unique for any type of a curve. Okay. So that's why now we are going to define a next term is reparameterization of a curve. For this, we have the two open intervals I and j. Okay, we have two open intervals I and j. Let curve alpha be the function from open interval I to E3. And we have some function h which is from j to I. So new reparameterization, that is beta of s, will be now the function from j, for writing this, what is beta of s? It is nothing but alpha of h of s. So what will be the composition of alpha of h? So what should be the domain and codomain? It will be from j to E3. Correct? It will be beta of s, that is a new function which is a composition of alpha and h. It will be a function from j to E3. Correct? So let us now see what is parameterization. So what we have initially, we have a interval, say j, and here is some interval I. So here will be some E3 space. Okay. So what is h? H is a function from j to open interval I. Okay, what is your curve alpha? Alpha is a function from open interval I to E3 space. So here this will be a curve alpha of t. So this will be curve alpha of t, which is a function from open interval I to E3 space. Okay, so how you are going to define a curve beta, which will be from open interval j to E3 space? That means it will be from directly j to E3 space. That is beta of s is nothing but alpha of t, that is nothing but alpha of h of s. What is beta? Beta is nothing but the composition of alpha and h. Okay. Now let us see. Let us go with one example. Suppose we have two persons. Suppose two persons is coming from hostel and they are reaching to our department. So no doubt they will come. Suppose they have been provided with a minimum time. So directly they will come to the department. Suppose there is no time limit. So suppose person 1 will start from hostel and directly reach to the department. And the second person, that is a person 2, it will go to canteen and have a tea. After having a tea, it will come back to our department. Okay. So it is very similar to that. Okay. So suppose this will be a person 1, it will go directly, and person 2, it will go to canteen and then it will go to the destination. Okay. So at each time s in the interval j, so at each time s in the interval j, so the interval j will have parameter s and this interval has a parameter t. So each time at interval j, the curve beta is at a point beta of s is equal to alpha of h of s, correct? So we can say the curve beta follows the path of alpha but reaches at some different time. Okay. Fine. Now let us see the relation between the reparameterization and the velocity of the curve. Okay, we have seen what is the velocity and how you are going to find out the velocity of the curve. It is nothing but just we have to differentiate with respect to a time t. We have to differentiate with respect to a time t and then we will get the velocity of the curve. Now we have to find out relation between velocity and reparameterization. Okay, what is a reparameterization? We have seen just we have to write down the same equation of a curve with help of some different parameter. And how you are going to have that different parameter with the help of a new interval j. In the interval j, what is a parameter is s, and in the interval I we have a parameter is t. Okay, so just we are going to change a parameter t to s. This type of changing a parameter t to s is called a reparameterization. And why this is important, reparameterization? Because sometimes it is not able, we cannot calculate directly from the given parameter. So we have to change a parameter t to some another parameter s. So this is called a reparameterization. Now let us see the relation between the velocity and the reparameterization. For this, first we will write down what is reparameterization. So how we found the reparameterization? Beta of s is nothing but alpha of h of s. Okay, so at time t equal to h of s, the curve beta we have. So we have beta of s is equal to alpha of h of s. Okay, that means how you are going to get a beta? If you put a t is equal to h of s in the curve alpha, you will get a curve beta. So alpha and beta are beta will follow the path of alpha but reaches at some different time. Okay. So now let us see what is the relation between velocity of the curve and the reparameterization. Okay. So for that, let us first write down beta of s is nothing but alpha 1 of h of s, alpha 2 of h of s, alpha 3 of h of s. Okay. So how you are going to differentiate this? Before going to differentiate this, we must know what should be the differentiation of composition of two functions. Suppose we have f composite g. How you are going to evaluate the derivative of this one? Suppose we will have a parameter is t. So how you evaluate this will be f dash of g and into g dash. So in the very similar way of this, we will evaluate the derivative. Okay. So what will be the derivative? Alpha 1 dash of h of s into what will be the next term? H dash of s. Okay. So let me write down, this will be h dash of s, derivative of this term. Next is alpha 2 dash of h of s into h dash of s. Third term alpha 3 dash of h of s into h dash of s. Okay, so if you take h dash of s common. So this will be alpha 1 dash h of s, alpha 2 dash h of s, alpha 3 dash of h of s, and finally outside the bracket will be h dash of s. Okay. Now can you tell me how you are going to write down in the compact form? This will be simply beta of dash of s is nothing but alpha 1 dash of h of s into h dash of s. So this is what a relation between the reparameterization and the velocity of the curve. Okay. So let us have an example on reparameterization. Suppose we have a curve alpha of t is provided to us as 2 cos square t sin 2t 2 sin t. 2 cos square t sin 2t and 2 sin t. Correct? Now what is given to us? T has interval is 0 to pi by 4. Okay. So next one we have provided h of s is sine inverse of s. Okay, h is a function with some parameter s, alpha is with parameter t. Now we have to find out reparameterization. What is the meaning of reparameterization? Simply we have one parameter t. This parameter t we have to change to some another parameter, say h. So if we are changing a parameter from t to s, this is called a reparameterization. We know already what is a parameterization. Writing the given curve in the form of parameter is called a parameterization, and the parametric form is always not a unique. Okay. So let us have first, if you observe this sine inverse of s, here there is no problem. 2 sine inverse will get this will be identity, to this will be 2s. For the here we have to evaluate, this will be 2 sin t cos t, and here it is 2 cos square t. So this cos square t I have to now convert in the form of sine so that we can have a easier simplification. So, alpha of t is 2 under root of, so what is this under is 2 1 minus sine square t, and this is 2 sin t cos t, and this 2 sin t as it is. Correct? So this will be 2 1 minus sine square t 2 sin t as it is. What you will write down cos in terms of sine, we can write this as 1 minus sine square t, but under root of this 2 sin t. Now we can put the value of t is nothing but your h of s, t is nothing but sine inverse of s. So now we can write 2 into 1 minus sine square t. T is nothing but sine inverse, that is sine square, and here is sine inverse of s. Okay, the sine square we can have, this will be, okay, so next is 2 sine inverse so this will be 2 1 minus s square, next is 2 s under root of 1 minus s square, and next is 2 times s. Sine inverse will be identity. Okay, so we will get this the same equation of a curve alpha of t. Now we have written in some another parameter, say s. Okay, so this will be an example for reparameterization. So in the next lecture we will see how to find out the velocity of the curve and what is a regular curve and all.